Okay, I don't know if I'm in the frame, guys, because I can't see what you're seeing, but what's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. So I'm doing a little video today, just a little something, either in or out of frame, because I have no idea what you're looking at right now. But I'm going to show you my cold steel collection, what I've got built up so far, and I got about 40, maybe a little bit over 40 pieces on the table right now. On the hot tub, and I know I'm missing a couple. I have a whip. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere around here, and I might have a blade in one of the cars because I've got all these cars all over the place, and I always have a blade in the car. So I'm going to show you pretty much most of my cold steel collection, and it's awesome. So it's not like you're going to be missing out if I'm forgetting anything. I'm even going to show you 3 pieces that I haven't even showed you yet. So a little preview action right here. So let's turn you around. Slow roll. So here we go. Cold steel. Oh, yes. That's a hot tub of champions right there. So this is my current and so far cold steel collection, minus a couple pieces, 1 or 2 or 3. But this is what we have, man. It's just a whole lot of goody gumdrops, rooty tooty, fresh and fruity, sweet stabby action. So before we get into these, I'm just going to go over these 3 real quick because I haven't brought them to you yet. We have the Drop Forge Survivalist, which, if you remember, this Drop Forge Hunter, which is amazing, and obviously you can see it's used, and my Drop Forged Wasp, which you can see it's used. I used my blades. I have some pretty high hopes for this blade right here. The Drop Forge stuff has been awesome. Even, you know, some of the axes, you have Drop Forge steel there. So that I'm pretty excited about. This right here, the LaFontaine thrower, the only other true thrower, since this one is a dagger, the only other true thrower I have from cold steel is the True Flight thrower, which really truly flies. I mean, I've been throwing it. I love it. And then the other one is going to be my smallest fixed blade, I think, of pretty much any fixed blade I have, the Pendleton Mini Hunter, but it's in 3V. That is some serious steel, and that should be an amazing little bushcraft bring along. So I can't wait to get those to you, but I have so many knives coming, it's taken forever. Of course, we have a couple of kukris. We have a kukri machete, and we have a chaos kukri. So we have a couple of those. We have large fighting buoys like the machetes, the 1917, and the Wild West buoy. Then we have our great collection of camp knives, going from, really, this one could be in there too, going from big to small. Camp knives are just, that right there is the ultimate cold steel camp knife, in my opinion. The Trailmaster is just amazing. The Recon Scout is amazing. The SRK, holy crap, that is an everyday carry camp knife, fighting knife, boot knife, anything you want to do it with knife, man. That thing will make you some Cheerios. I love that damn knife. Then we have some of the folders. We have probably the greatest single folding knife ever made right there, the XL Espada. And this is the good one too. This is that carbon fibery looking awesome XL. That's like a $600+ retail knife that is worth every freaking penny. I brought that one with me to Afghanistan, so that thing is battle tested, true and awesome. You have the Luzone, which is probably the fastest extra large knife on the planet. And when I say extra large, guys, you have to think about knife size. We'll take the Kobun right here, which is a good size knife. What is that, a 6-inch blade, somewhere in there? So let's just put it right there and compare it to size of those folders. They are huge. So let's compare the Natchez buoy, which is huge, and just look at how big that folder is, man. It is just massive. So some of these folders from Cold Steel, you see them and you don't realize how big they are until you put them in your hand. And all three of those, really four of those, you put them in your hand and it's like, oh my gosh, this is not a folder. This is a pocket sword. That is wow. And I mean, it just keeps getting more and wow everywhere you look with Cold Steel. They just know how to do it. Even from the polypropylene practice stuff, the katanas and the wakasakis and the tantos, their practice stuff is just awesome. And then their real stuff is awesome. This sword cane right here is just ridiculous awesome. It's a battle ready sword cane, which means you've seen me chop down trees with it because it's amazing. The katana machete is amazing. The gladius machete is amazing. Right there, the African walking stick is amazing. And I wish I could find my my whip. I wish I knew where that was. Get into things like the Bushman. I have a designated staff for this for hiking, where I pop that on the top and it sits really well secured. And when I go hiking, if I need to defend myself against a bear, I know that I have a very sharp blade with a very nice point that I can use 6 feet away from me and survive. Then you get down even to like the crazy budget stuff, like the kudu, the African kudu. Famous design. You put this thing in your hand and you think, oh my god, it feels kind of flimsy. Then you start using it and you realize, all right, so far so good. It just doesn't matter. This one right here, it's the only, like, it's like a plastic. It's the only plastic blade I have of theirs. They have some really good ones. This one I wasn't crazy about, not at all, but I can see where it would be a good, like, emergency, because there's an L in there, emergency, like, throat slasher, in an emergency self-defense, or a little rib sticker. I can see how that would work. As far as bushcraft, the Finn Wolf folder, the Finn Wolf fixed blades, those are two of the best Scandi grind bushcraft knives you're going to find out here. I mean, these are great. I mean, people talk about Mora and this and that, and Moras are some of the best bushcraft knives on the planet. These guys, head to toe, will keep up all day long. The Bushman right here, the folding Bushman, well, it's got that crazy deployment, X deployment. So you put it to unfold, you pull it from the rear. And was that even a sentence? You pull it from the rear and it closes that way. So it's a bit tricky, but this knife, obviously you can see, I use it a lot. That knife is fantastic. I mean, you can see wear on these blades because, well, I use them. I mean, you can see all the scratches and this and that. Why? Because I use them. You can see I use them. These blades aren't just sit around the house blades. Even this goofy guy right here, I thought I was going to have some fun with it. So I took it out and I had some fun with it. But this one right here, I have to say, this is probably one of the most overlooked Cold Steel knives. It's the Koboon, right? And obviously it has a bunch of use on it. This is my oldest Cold Steel knife. I've had this one the longest. And I have used this I've stabbed through metal with this. I've carried this all over the place. As a defensive weapon, this thing is amazing. This is an amazing little knife. If you have a chance to get yourself a Koboon, grab one just to have one because it's really good. Remember when I was still active with the Army, I was out on one of the Air Force bases locally, and I saw this guy right here, and I said, well, here's something I have to have. And it was really good buy. It's the GI Tonto. I was totally excited. I bought it. I loved it. I used it all the time. I mean, all the time. I loved it. And then I bought the Recon Scout, right? And I was like, oh, we can compare these two because these are going to be so similar. I was like, look at this. Oh, how awesome. And then I made the mistake of doing this. I turned them over and I went, holy mackerel, my GI Tonto looks like it's made of paper next to that one, but it's not. This thing, it's a great knife. Really takes a sting out of it when you put it next to something like this, which is a huge fat bastard. So is this one. Oh my gosh, they're just awesome. So So this is it. I just wanted to show you guys the cold steel collection. You've seen me throw, well, you see me throw all of it pretty much. I do a whole lot of that. And they all work. They all get the job done. They're all fantastic. The only ones, if I was going to recommend knives, I could recommend knives all day long. The only ones, as far as a series, I'm not crazy about is the Chaos series. And it's not because they can't perform, because you've seen me use them and perform with them. It's because trench knives are fighting knives, right? And when you have a fighting knife and you put an enclosed D-guard on it like that, right? Yeah, it's great for punching. Yeah, it's good to stop a saber if the saber's going, you know, the long way, that way. But if you're holding it this way and the saber's coming this way, you're still going to lose some fingers. So it really doesn't, that doesn't really do a whole lot of great. But the thing is, if I'm fighting like this and I need to change my hand position to this, I have to get around that guard. And any knife with a guard, I know a lot of people love them. They just happen to love trench knives for some reason. But if I need a fighting knife and I need to get around to a different position, you know what I mean? If I'm going from here and I need to go to here so I can hit that reverse angle, because depending on what you're fighting or who you're fighting, or who or what you're fighting has to defend themselves with, the grip on your blade really matters. Do you want that front grip? Are you going to be using it as a slasher, or are you going to be using it to help defend yourself as a guard, to come around with like hooks and whatnot? You need a blade that gets around. None of them get around like this one, though. I mean, this one is just awesome. The Notches buoy is probably one of the best fighting buoys alive. I mean, it's just awesome. Oh, I have something. I was doing a review. I don't know if it was, it may have been this one. And you can see, listen to this. I have a ring on. So every now and then I would turn it and this would happen, right? It would make this sound. It would, my ring would click on the handle. And this guy watches the review and he talks about how it's a cheap knife because it's all rattly. And I was like, what are you talking about rattly? So he pinpoints a section in the video where I'm turning the blade and you hear this, right? And he says, yeah, you can hear it rattling. That's my ring. If you guys are watching a video and you hear a big clang and I don't address it, it's because of that. All right, it's not because there's something loose. But here we go, man. Here we go. Cold steel heaven right here. I mean, what's sitting on top of here probably costs more than my entire hot tub. It costs more than what's sitting on top of. So these three I'll be getting to you. We have so many knives to get to. And you know what's crazy is we're looking at over 40 pieces of cold steel right here. And what do I have in my pocket today? Oh yeah, the CRKT fossil. All these cold steels. I got my CRKT on me. But yeah, just what a great collection. Cold steel just does it right. I'm going to, not only have I been using, but I'm going to continue to use all of them. I mean, all of them. You see, I use all of, and it's not just the regular knives. The stuff that would be considered novelty, you see, I use. I love cutting 1-inch forest trees with my sword cane. I think it's awesome. My Gladius, and my katana have cut down more bush than a post 1970s ladies razor. This thing, I mean, these are awesome. Even this guy right here, I just go through everything with this stuff. Amazing. What a great collection so far. I'm excited for my cold steel collection to grow, and you guys will see it grow with me. So that's it, man. Look at that. We kept under 15 minutes. All right. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.